giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go! Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We're streaming live on YouTube. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Happy New Year, folks! The very first episode of the 2024 year, and we gonna bring it in with a bang, baby. Y'all see it. Cowboys are in the driver's seat for the number 2 seed. Oh, what a beautiful Sunday. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about how we got there for sure. But they had to handle business on Saturday. So obviously we will be discussing that. I was not here yesterday, was not here on Sunday, obviously. So today we will be discussing and recapping what happened on Saturday. And don't get it twisted. Just because it wasn't pretty does not mean we are not having a cookout. Oh, yes, indeed. So I've got a full grown folk table we're going to discuss later on in the show. Obviously, we have the walk as well. And yeah, we'll break it all down. I got you. We'll break it all down. And in the roundup, we're going to relive some of the cool moments from the game, specifically Jimmy Johnson, his Ring of Honor inductee, and put to bed the controversy from Saturday. I'm putting it to bed, and we'll leave it at that. Obviously, you guys can call in. We can talk more about it. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. And call in. Let me know what's on your mind. We'll talk about everything. But what's good, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
How was y'all New Year's, man? How was y'all New Year's? For me, how many of y'all, let me say this. How many of y'all made it to 12 o'clock? Because I don't make it to 12 that much anymore. In fact, my son called me, and I'm already in bed. So I didn't really make it to 12 o'clock. And depending if you're on the West Coast, Central, East Coast, you know, that whole situation. But I hope y'all had a safe and happy and fun New Year's. We brought it in. I went to the golf course, or not golf course, I'm sorry. I went to Top Golf. We did some Top Golf. Went out, had a nice little lunch, dinner, or whatever. We did the early stuff. We did the old stuff. You know, we said we're not going to make it till 12 o'clock, so let's go out and have our fun early. Come on back and just chill for the rest of the day, man. You know? Chill for the rest of the day. Lee said, you and I did. Vegas makes you stay up. I could imagine. You know, if you live in Vegas and you live in the heart of all that craziness, you probably can't even sleep, to be honest. Dev said, I made it to 11:30. Yeah, I didn't even make it to that. You know, I didn't even make it to that. And then my son called me and woke me up. No, I didn't, brother. I did not, man. But let me tell you something. I have more respect for people that golf the way they golf. I hit up a couple people saying, hey, man, I want to work on my game. Shouts out to as a Celestial Cowboy on Twitter. I posted a Twitter picture in Frost as well of me, you know, swinging. I don't golf, you know, but I want to learn how to get good at it. So I posted a picture. My form wasn't great. He told me about squashing a bug and doing this and doing that. Then I started doing it, right? And I got better. But here's a problem, competitive with myself. And I wanted to continue to get better. So my lady, you know, she's due soon. Shouts out to the wife. She's handling this very well. She said, you go ahead and do your thing. I'm a little tired. I said, cool. So I'm just got a ball, pow, got another ball, pow, and I'm just going hard. I had no idea all that twerk, you know, not the twerk, but the torque. You know, you do that for so long, for a couple hours. I woke up the next day. This whole side of my body is sore. And I couldn't figure out why until I thought, damn it, I probably shouldn't have been going that hard at Top Golf. So now I know, you know, I have so much respect for y'all that go golfing as much as y'all do, and I got to work on my core, the obliqueness, all this over here, because this is right there, that's sore, Hey, princess, it is what it is. I didn't know. My body don't move like this all day for hours on end. So respect to those who go out there golfing. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, how did the Cowboys, let's put on some music for this one. How did the Cowboys get to the point where 3 weeks ago, it was like, we got a shot at this thing, but we're probably going to settle into the 5th seed. No biggie. Cowboys handled business on Saturday, and we'll talk about our business about that game. Then Sunday came, and the Philadelphia Eagles gave you a New Year's gift from the heavens because they are
Mid!
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I don't even got nothing crazy for you on this team, man. Because how many times have I come on here at the beginning of the season and said, that can't hold up. The way they're playing cannot hold up. And but they're winning, Scott. They are. Good for them. All right? Good job. But you want me to tell you did a good job? Yeah, good job. But you have to play better. They didn't. They came out of that 10-1 stretch, chest poked out, Eagle fans, yapping at you. All we had to do is, in the famous words of Stephen A. Smith, just wait. Just sit back and wait. They go on to go 1-4 the rest of the way. And because they didn't handle their business, the Cowboys are now in the driver's seat. And look, I'm not tripping about that at all. You know why? Contrary to a very small popular belief, I won't go too crazy. I won't dive into it. If y'all do, y'all want to call in here. But the Cowboys are set up to have not one, but 2 possible home games, which is the best possible scenario for this Dallas Cowboys team. And it's not even remotely close. I mean, again, I'm not going to go further into it unless y'all want to talk about it a little bit later. But it's not even close, man. Dallas has a chance to play the 6th seed or 7th seed, then get a home game with probably a team they already played before. Nonetheless, there really isn't a team in the NFC, in my opinion, that want to use the word fear, whatever. I respect all these teams. But if I'm going to be real, there's one team that you could say, is there a little bit of fear in you? I got to say, yeah, because we couldn't beat them, and that's San Fran, right? Now, fear's strong. I know I don't like to use that word fear. But if I had to keep it a bean, that's the one. But guess what? You avoid that team until the very last possible moment. The rest of these teams, look, man, respect to all these teams. And we can go down the list if y'all want. We can talk about it if y'all really, really want to. And we'll break it down, whoever the opponents are, obviously, when that comes to fruition, right? But at the crib, here we go. At the crib, the defense. At the crib, the momentum. Everything is different. This team clearly plays different at the crib. So when you ask me, if you ask me, am I happy that the Cowboys got the number 2? Possibly. Has the number 2 seed? Yes. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm not even thinking twice about it. The only reason why the 5 situation even was creeping up weeks ago was because it looked like the Cowboys were not about to get the number 2 seed, right? So it's like, yeah, cool. I'll settle for 5 because then we can go to Philly and all this other stuff. You didn't want 6 or 7. You was like 5, right? They can get 2 now. I'll leave it at that. We can have more conversation about it if you want to in the roundup. After the roundup. But let's get into that. Let's put a bow on this stupid controversy because it's stupid in my opinion, and then relive a little bit of the moment that was for Jimmy Johnson. So here we go.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you, Cowboys Nation, about this 2-point controversy thing, man. So if you guys watch the post-game show, and that's why me and Jesse, we always say, hey, y'all, we literally have 0 seconds or minutes to look at everything. We come on, we talk about our literally immediate reaction to what's going on, and just give you kind of our emotional take on what's happening. And one of the things where I say, you know what, I got to go back home and see what they're talking about on TV because I can't hear it. I don't know what they're saying. We don't have the audio available to us at the time in that manner. And it was about the 2-point. You know, initially it was, hey, somebody reported, somebody didn't. It was all confusion. Days have went by, and we have a very clear take on what the hell happened there. And congratulations, Detroit. You played yourself. They essentially admitted to tricking the referees and not tricking Dallas, or tricking the referees in an attempt to confuse Dallas. This is what Dan Campbell said, I believe yesterday. Quote, "It's about eligibility. That's what it's about. And it has nothing to do with the ref. The ref knows. He knows because 68 reported. It's for the defense so that they see 3 different people." And this is in they're talking about this situation here where 3 different offensive linemen went up to the referee. And he says it's for the defense so that they see 3 different people, and you're just hoping. That's why you don't live by the hope creed. They happen to not hear that it's 70 who isn't eligible. That's all. Once again, congratulations, Detroit. You played yourself. You thought that you could trick the Cowboys by sending 3 different offensive linemen to the referee, one who you constantly send out there as an eligible receiver throughout the entire season, and throughout this game you did it. So what happens? The referee assumes it's number 70 because this has been happening, and you can see him right now looking at 70, reporting with 3 different linemen in front of him. Did they say, hey, I'm eligible? Maybe. But Brad Allen got tripped up. Oh, well, it is what it is. You think as a Cowboy fan, I'm going to care about a referee debacle going against you? No. We are the Dallas Cowboys. This happens to the Cowboys every week. Now, I will say this. That never happens. If the referees don't bungle this up. So Detroit fans, ESPN heads, they want us to feel bad about what happened. Sorry, I don't. I don't care if this didn't happen in general. But if they call clipping, tripping, whatever you want to call it, on the correct player, number 97, Aiden Hutchinson, in this situation, the game is over, folks. That's a 15-yard penalty. Dallas is somewhere around the 10-yard line or something like that. The game is over. Instead, and this is my apologies to you, Hendershot, because again, right after the game, they didn't show a replay of this. All I know is, hey, tripping on Hendershot. Man, this dude, get him out of here, right? My bad, bro. That wasn't you. So do I care about your 2-point debacle where A, you played yourself by trying to confuse the Cowboys, but you confused the refs? No. And then B, the referees gave you a gift. And then Mike McCarthy gave you a gift too. You know, he didn't have to throw the ball in the second play. Dak didn't have to throw it. I mean, he could have just literally took a knee, but that's a discussion we'll possibly have later on in the show. So look, Detroit, Philly, whoever else is whining and crying about this.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
We do not care. What annoyed me the most, though, about that whole situation is that it seemed to overshadow a really good competitive game, a tough, hard-fought, weird in a sense game by the Cowboys, but there were some cool moments. There's some really good moments in that game for your offense, your defense. But the coolest and best moment of the night, without a doubt, man, was Jimmy Johnson going into the Ring of Honor. Man. That, me and Jesse decided to do a really fast halftime show because we wanted to feel that moment. We wanted to be in that moment. I'm so glad that we did. But here are a couple. I just want to relive a couple of the moments from the Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor. It was a fun halftime show.
Please join us and the members of the 92 and 93 Super Bowl teams in welcoming the first coach in Dallas Cowboys history to win 13 games in a season. Two-time Cowboys Super Bowl champion, Pro Football Hall of Famer, and Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor inductee, Jimmy Johnson.
I want to thank my family, Rhonda, Brent, and Chad. Because nobody knows your sacrifices like your family. And I want to thank the Dallas Cowboy fans, the millions of Cowboy fans. And the millions that despise the Cowboy fans. Because all of you is what makes this game so great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just got one more thing to say.
Tell them, Jimmy. Getting chills.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, what a moment, Cowboys Nation, man. What a moment, man. As a wrestling fan, right? There's a terminology. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this that aren't wrestling fans, called a pop. Meaning, usually when somebody enters the ring, their music hits, the crowd goes crazy, that initial pop. I don't know that I've heard a pop like that at AT&T Stadium. I don't know, man. Maybe ever. When Jimmy Johnson hit us with that, how about them Cowboys? I got chills, man. I got chills. It was what a moment. What a moment. And part of me, man, it really, look, I'm a little stitious, y'all. I'm a little stitious. Let me talk to y'all for a second. Jimmy gets inducted to the Ring of Honor. Brad Allen happens to forget that number 70 is not reporting. I'm just saying, we don't normally get those. Then on Sunday, the Eagles lose to the Cardinals at the crib. Which puts the Cowboys in the driver's seat for the number 2 seed, which is their best opportunity to get to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Because they play 2 home games where they're the best home team in the National Football League, bar none. Also gives you one or two things that could happen. Some poetic justice here. One or two things. You could potentially host the NFC Championship. I'm getting ahead of myself. I get it. Cowboys got to win on Sunday. We'll talk about that throughout the week. You could potentially host the NFC Championship game. Or Dallas can go to San Francisco, where they had to before, to advance to the Super Bowl the last time Jimmy and them won. Oh. I just feel good, man. I feel good. That's all I'm saying. Saturday night, right after the game, I was feeling a little yucky. Happens, right? Your initial emotions. Sunday happens, you sleep on it. Monday happens, you sleep on it. Here we are Tuesday morning. I feel a whole lot better. Yeah, Glenn. Dan Campbell, absolutely. Look, bro, you got 3 opportunities to kick the field goal, and you decided to go for the 2 all 3 times. That was stupid. That's on you. You played yourself. It ain't our fault. Be mad at us. All right. I see the phone lines. People are starting to call. We'll get to y'all in a second. I want to continue this feel-good moment by heading into the cookout segment of our show, because there are a certain number of players I do want to feature that had a good game in this one that helped push the Cowboys to victory. So, with that said, let's do it. We got some first timers up in here. Hey. Left, right. Here we go. Is it? It's okay, we start with the record breaker. CeeDee Lamb. Welcome back to the Grown Folk Table, sir. You had a record-breaking performance. Again, really. Again, 13 receptions, 227 yards, a touchdown, and a long of 92 to get the scoring started for the Dallas Cowboys. Past the legendary Michael Irvin for the all-time single-season record for receptions in the season and yards. Don't look now, Cowboys Nation, but CeeDee Lamb leads the NFL, if I'm not mistaken, in receptions and is second in yards, not that far behind Tyreek Hill, who everybody was saying, MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Hey, CD, he needs to be a part of those discussions as well, man. He needs to be a part of those discussions. For my money, I personally think Lamb has been the most complete wide receiver in the National Football League. He can kill you from the outside. He can kill you from the inside. He has elite yards after the catch ability, and you saw it with the very first reception he got of the game. Right out the gate, 31 yards. And then after that, really a banner play, I think, on the season for CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. They connect on a 92-yard bomb to open up things for the Cowboys. So CeeDee Lamb, of course, sir, of course, you have a seat at the Grown Folk Table in our celebratory cookout. We might as well go right to Dak Prescott, too, as he's throwing these passes to CeeDee Lamb. 26 for 38, 345 yards, 2 touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 103, a QBR of 63. He did have the lone interception, just like CeeDee Lamb had the lone fumble, which both were ugly. However, I thought it was a free play, to be completely honest. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought when Dak threw the rock, he assumed there's a free play. I would love for them to ask about him. If I missed it, I missed it. But Aiden Hutchinson was clearly offsides. They didn't call it, whatever. It happens. But to me, that was a free play. Nonetheless, man, Dak once again was clutch for you, and he's really been clutch all year. Now, has he hit every single moment of game-winning opportunity moments this year? No, right? You had a possibility in Arizona and a possibility in Philly. But if you really go look at throughout the season, he's really put the Cowboys in position to win more often than not, or actually win the game with a game-winning drive this year. All of last season, last few years, I kept saying, hey, we need to be better, or he needs to be better specifically, at closing out these games with these game-winning drives or fourth quarter comebacks, whatever you want to call it, because that had diminished under Kellen Moore for 4 seasons. Well, fast forward, I think he already has the same amount of game-winning drives in 1 year as he had in the previous 3. I do think that is something because he is more comfortable in this scheme. He's more comfortable when it's late because he doesn't have to worry about where these guys are going to be. Oh, and we're at home, by the way. And we know he can ball at the crib. So Dak Prescott, of course, you are at the grown folk table. J. Lou, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Going into this game, if you guys remember, one of the things I had said in my hot take was that Jordan Lewis was going to be the most important Cowboys defender in this game. Now, obviously, Micah Parsons, D-Law, we'll get to in a second. They are definitely just as important. But the reason why I said this was because they like to run the ball, and J. Lou has to defend the run, being a slot, and he had to deal with the plethora of weapons that they have that they throw in the slot, one including St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And J. Lou had 6 tackles, 2 pass breakups, a touchdown saving tackle, a huge interception, in my opinion, to switch that game around. And look, you could call it a hold, whatever you want to call it at the end of the game, but he played some tough defense on Amon-Ra St. Brown to get a pass breakup to force third down. Nonetheless, they eventually scored anyway. But Jordan Lewis had a huge game. It was a redemption game for him against his hometown team. This was the same J. Lou who had the interception, his last interception, against Detroit at home. He deserves some flowers over the last month of the season. Jordan Lewis has absolutely stepped up when a lot of people were putting his feet to the fire. He's shown you that at least he can get in there and compete in that slot. And now make plays, because that was the big thing, right? We need you to make plays. Another guy who made some plays for me, Cowboys Nation, Donovan Wilson. Welcome to the grown folk table for the first time this year. This was without a doubt, his best game of the season. I don't even think it's particularly close. Dono, look, the interception was fantastic. And let me just say this real quick. Look at you guys in the face when I say this. Throughout that game and really this year, him and J-Ron, I was getting frustrated with, look, man, I get it. Your strong safeties, your strong suit, your forte is to be run defenders, be force guys and things like that. But you're still safeties. You're still DBs. I still need to see you make plays on the ball. And it was times I was getting frustrated that, he wasn't making plays on the ball. He didn't look like a DB a lot of the time. Not just him, but J-Ron. And it was just kind of frustrating. These guys were playing well sometimes in the run game and whatnot. But the interception that he had, to me, might be his second best one that I've seen him have. And the one I'm thinking about is back in 2020 against the 49ers, where he read that perfectly. He looked like an actual safety. That one was just about, hey, man, I got to make a play on the ball, read it, click, go. Fires downhill, gets the interception, secures a catch. Fantastic play by Donovan Wilson, right? Fantastic play. But I don't even know if that was his best play of the game. I don't. There was a play down there on the goal line that ended up being a huge play because it eventually forced Detroit to go for it, and they missed it, I think. He just throws, I don't know if it's Decker, Sewell, the guard, whomever. He gets head up, one-on-one, on the outside with the lineman, and he just puts him on his ass and forces a stop at the line of scrimmage for Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, that play right there, talk about banner plays. I know the interception is going to be one for him, but I think that one for Donovan Wilson was it for the season. That was an amazing play that, again, one of his stops. He had 11 tackles, if I'm not mistaken, in this game. He had 11 tackles, a pass breakup, and, of course, that clutch interception that I thought ended the game, but it didn't end the game. It is what it is. So shouts out to Donovan Wilson. And then you got big, bad, I don't even know if I should call him D-Law anymore. Debo Lawrence. I mean, gotta put some respect on this guy's name, man. We gotta stop this nonsense of, he doesn't get 15 sacks and all this. Guys, that ain't his. I know it sounds crazy. What do you mean, guys? Defense end. That really is. That's not what they're asking him to do. They are asking Debo Lawrence to be Debo at the line of scrimmage, set the edge, be an elite run defender, pressure the quarterback, funnel these things into Micah Parsons and these other guys. They don't need D-Law to get 10 to 15 sacks anymore. 6 to 8 is wonderful. because he is the best run-stopping defensive end in the National Football League. 5 tackles, 3 stops, 2 tackles for loss, a quarterback hit. He batted the ball down. He had 3 pressures. He was simply everywhere in that game. And he is a compliment, a great compliment in my opinion, to Micah Parsons. Don't take my word for it. Both coaches after the game had glowing reviews for DeMarcus Lawrence. Take a listen.
That's something I know, competing against D-Law, and he's still doing it at such a high level. I think when you play defensive end in this league, the first thing people talk about is how many sacks or pressures you have. And I learned this, in the earlier years, and that's why anytime I see Michael Strahan, I just think of, boy, here's a guy that obviously has broken records and sacks, but he played the run as good or better. And I think D-Law is that same kind of player. He plays. I think that speaks volumes about him as a football player. Because people, obviously he can pass rush and has pressures and sacks and has excellent numbers, but when they bring up how good you play the run, I think that's a huge compliment.
They've got 2 of the best ends in the league. One of them is I think the best rusher in the league, and that's Parsons. And the other 90, you can't sleep on this guy. And I don't think any of us slept on him, but I think people forget he's a complete defensive end, man. He plays the run, he's stout, he's explosive, and he can rush the passer. So
explosive, can rush the passer, he's stout, he's a complete defensive end. He is. I mean, that's stuff that a lot of Cowboys fans have already been saying, but it's good to see that other coaches they've always respected him, but he's getting the flowers that he deserves, especially after another game where, I mean, the dude just continues to put teams in bad situations when they want to run the ball early, and he's involved. He did it against Buffalo. I know it sounds crazy because Buffalo ran all over you, but a lot of the times, wasn't because of D-Law. Happened in Miami. I mean, it's been happening all year, and it was Dan Campbell, almost said Quinn, who had said, when you keep getting put in second and long situations, I feel for Ben, talking about Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. He said, I feel for him because I think they had something around 7 tackles for loss or starting behind the chains. And that was one of the things we talked about going into this game. Like, you got to win on early downs so the play action is eliminated, right? This 3rd and short turns into 3rd and long. And if that's the case, it's way easier to put the heat on Jared Goff and move him off his spot. Jared Goff was atrocious in this game. He had a great play. Don't get me wrong. He had a great play where he took a hit from Micah and dropped a dime to Jamison Williams. And then the last possession, I personally feel like Dallas just went and prevent defense. They took their foot off the pedal, and he just was getting easy throws and salute to him, whatever, right? But I thought for 95% of that game, Jared Goff was not good, and that's because the Cowboys pushed him off their spots, pushed him off his spot. But before that, it's because the Cowboys were winning on early downs for most of the game. I get that Montgomery and Gibbs had a few runs or whatnot, but not enough for me to come out that game and be overly concerned about the run defense in that game. I thought it played well. It's that time. Hey, cuz, we about to go to the store. Hey, Mom, I'll be right back. What's going on the walk, man? First of all, before we get into the Cowboys players, I had to make a phone call, y'all. I had to hit up Jonathan Gannon. I said, hey, Johnny boy, we just want to say thank you, man. Look, we don't need you to bring anything to the cookout. I don't just tell Kyler to come through. Of course, Kyler's gonna have to sit at the kiddie table. I mean, we can't be getting in trouble. They're gonna think Kyler Murray, so just go ahead and go play with the cousins, and he cannot come to the grown folk table. I don't got time for the cops to be called. But we would like to invite you to the cookout. You guys did us a solid. So, Jonathan Gannon, the Cardinals go into Philly, absolutely embarrass that offense. One more thing before I move on. It's 1st and 20, right? After they got, after the Cardinals tried to do an onside kick. Let me just tell you how confident the Cardinals were, by the way. They kicked an onside kick. 1st and 20. The Eagles don't say, you know what? our MVP quarterback can dig us out this hole with his arm. 1st and 20. QB power. 2nd and 18. QB power. 3rd and whatever. Wide receiver screen. Yo, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All the people that came at Okoye and everybody else that was with Okoye in regards to Jalen Hurts. Look, Jalen Hurts will develop. He'll keep developing. It is what it is. But right now, sir, the vision on the line at home, and y'all ran QB power, screen. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know about your quarterback, don't you ever come around here no more. Don't you ever put Jalen Hurts in the same category as the Patties, as the Burrows, as the Josh Allens, and as the goddamn Dak mother effing Prescott again. I digress. Shouts out to Brandon Cooks. See, Brandon old here. He don't partake no more, but you know. He the one on the walk that tried to tell us to stop, you know. Hey, young blood, you don't need that no more. But I had to bring him because he was super clutch once again, man. Brandon Cooks, just when you think like, hey, where's Cooks at, right? It feels like at the end of these games when teams may be paying attention to a CD Lamb, Brandon Cooks, oh snap, 3rd and long, clutch catch. Unbelievable catch, by the way, on that 3rd and 7. Obviously, a great pass by Dak, too. But Cooks had to hold that rock. Clutch catch, right? And then in the end zone, great protection. Shouts out to the line for finally holding up. Great protection. Dak, you got an option route, looks like on Brandon Cooks. He routes up Melifonwu or if it was an Ife. I'm hopefully I'm saying his name right. Melifonwu. Man, I'm going to follow you, whatever. Routes him up. Bow. Dime. Touchdown. Game-winning touchdown. Cooks is clutch, man. You're talking about Miami. Talking about this game. Talking about against the Chargers. He just continues to come up clutch. He has sure hands. He can make the contested catches even though he's not as big. And he just finds a way to get open. When teams are worried about CD Lamb, he just pops you upside the head. So I had to bring Brandon Cooks on the walk. I also had to bring Micah on this walk, man. 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. He tied a season high with 4 stops. And I said this on Twitter. I said, I might be a prisoner of the moment, Cowboys Nation. But it seemed like to me this was Micah's best game from the edge against the run. If not his best this year, one of his best of the season. Now, he did make a play where he was on the line, but he wasn't necessarily playing the linebacker spot, right? Like super off ball. But most of his stops came in the run game at defensive end. He was a terror in this game. He got the pressures. He got the tackles for loss. He didn't get a sack, but he did force some incompletions, mainly one on 4th down in the red zone where Jared Goff could not step up comfortably and threw an incomplete pass. So obviously got to bring Michael on this walk as well. And then Brandon Aubrey. You might say, oh, it was only 2 for 2, but guess what? The Cowboys Nation, we only won by 1. Which means Brandon had to connect on all his field goals, not just the 2 field goals, but his extra points in order for the Cowboys to win. But one of those field goals was a 51-yarder where he just continues to make these things look easy, smooth like butter. Smooth like butter. So that, Cowboys Nation, it's my grown folk table. It's my walk. Had to bring, see, look, we didn't have to do any paperwork with Brandon, no taxes or nothing like that. Just come on for the walk, man. Once again, you were clutch for the Cowboys. Once again, you were good and you were perfect. 34 for 34 on the season. He will be an all-pro. Without a shadow of a doubt, he will be an all-pro. Anybody you guys want to bring on the walk, Cowboys Nation? Anybody you guys want to bring on the wall? Steve said, I just saw Kyler Murray. I mean, yeah, you can miss him. He's a little fella. You can miss him, but he's right there by Jonathan Gannon. You know how they got those lassos for the kids? I call it a lasso because we in Texas, you know. You got to use the Texas slang. The lassos or the ropes, the little leashes. Told Jonathan Gannon to bring one. Who we missing here? Tolbert. Let me say something. Bass, yeah, Juice, Bass, 100%. All right, look, we having fun. We talking about all the good things. There are a few bad things we obviously could talk about. We'll hit the phone lines here, and I'm pretty sure we could talk about some of those things. Look, man, run blocking hasn't been the greatest this year. It's just been borderline damn near poor. But watching ball on Sunday, rewatching this game, and you brought up Tolbert, and this is why this brought it up. This kind of popped in my head because sometimes Tolbert's asked to do the dirty work and block. But, you know, there's times where I'm sitting here and I'm watching. Somebody brought it up a couple weeks ago with CeeDee Lamb's effort in run blocking. And I'm like, look, our offensive line just hasn't been good run blocking. But I look at some of the teams that do well on the ground, and their receivers are also part of this. Brandon Cooks, come on, he's 5'9". You know, we can't really ask him to be the superb run blocker. He ain't Hines Ward. CeeDee Lamb, that ain't his forte. CeeDee Lamb is extremely inconsistent and run blocker. He don't even want nothing to do with it half the damn time. Michael Gallup, there's times Michael was good, but I wouldn't look at Michael Gallup and say, man, that's a run blocker. Not Noah Brown, right? And then Tolbert does the dirty work, right? I think you could say Tolbert probably is your best run blocking guy, but Tolbert's your fourth wide receiver that plays, you know, fourth least or fourth most at the position. So I just thought about that when you brought up Tolbert, and I'm like, there's just, he's like our only guy that consistent. Turpin's smaller than me. There's not enough on the outside for run blocking. Usually when you see those big plays sprung, it's because you see wide receivers blocking. So I just thought about that, Cowboys. That's not to say that, you know, the offensive line hasn't run block well, or Tony hasn't run well, or Rico, whomever it is, right? Like, they're part of it too. But I just was thinking about the run blocking. But good choice of Bass. Bass coming in for Tyler Smith, who I probably should have brought this up earlier. He completely tore his plantar. Is it fascia? Is that how you say it? Y'all know me. I don't do well with those type of medical terminologies. But he completely tore it, which is actually a good thing. I know that sounds crazy, but it's a good thing according to the doctors. They say that if you strain it, it becomes more of a nuisance throughout the weeks. But if you completely tear it, it's just managing the pain, but it's less pain because it's completely torn. I remember when this happened to Tony in 2021 on his long touchdown against the Saints, and then he played 2 weeks later. So we'll be monitoring that throughout the rest of the week to see if Tyler Smith will play on Saturday or on Sunday against the Washington Football People, or if they'll just rest him up for the playoffs. So something to keep in mind as we move forward. All right, Cowboys Nation, let's hit the phone line, see what you guys have to say. If you missed the cookout, if you missed the roundup, go ahead, run this thing back, and we're going to talk to the people. Splendid Poppy, we got you, man.
Oh, shit. Hold on, I'm at the job site. I hear these guys in the back. I'm going to walk away.
You want me to come back?
Hey, dog.
What's up
hey,
with you, man? Good morning.
I was just calling in for a little shout out for me and the trying to do a relation view. I don't know if you heard of that guy that goes on with Skip Bayless. I tried watching that show, but that guy Bubba.
Bro, I can't hear you at all, man. It sounds like you're riding through the wind, bro.
Hold on. Let me step in this truck. Big Red.
Yeah, get a Big Red. Go ahead and get a Big Red, bro. Let me come back to you, Splendor. Right. Yeah, we're gonna come back to Splendor. Let's get Reek up in the building. Reek, what's good, man?
Hey, what's going on, Sky? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? Great win. Great close win. And we control our destiny, man. Yep. I'm happy that we finally got what got what we want. We got to give Jerry Jones and the Jones family a lot of credit. But finally, for Jerry finally letting Jimmy into the Ring of Honor. I feel like we pointed in the right direction.
Sure.
And I just feel like we got to keep fighting as a nation. We got to keep fighting as a team. And let's try to see if we can go do this thing. Let's try to go give it our best. Go get the 6th championship, because if the writing's on the wall, we have a chance. I just hope that we clear up some things that we can clean up and get ready for these Washington Redskins, because Commanders, because they're going to give us everything they got. You know, this is the last game of the season. You know, this is one of our rivals. They're not a very good team, but they will stand up for the Cowboys, and at the same time, just to make us, if they can throw a monkey wrench into our situation, they will. This probably is their coach's last game with them this year. So I think they're going to put it all on the table, and I just feel like we need to not play with our food. Just go in here, blow them out, so we can sit our team down at the end of the game, towards the end of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, we'll get to that. We'll get to Washington. But, yeah, you're right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I'm going to holler at you, though, man. Happy New Year, Sky. Happy New Year, Cowboy Nation. I'm up out of here.
Salute. All right, let's see if we get Splendor back. You in Big Red?
Yeah, now I'm Big Red.
All right, man. What's up?
I think we can hear me better.
What you got for
No,
us?
Big Dog, just calling to throw a little recommendation to you on see if you can make a button for that guy, Bubba Dump. He does that trash imitation for the. I guess I don't know what he said. I guess they're saying trash for the
I know
Eagles.
who you talk about. I got my thoughts on this guy, but I get it. It is a fun little meme. Trash.
I don't watch them. I don't pay attention to none of that shit. But just the way he says it, I see it on some videos, bro. It's just so slight, man. They need it, bro. That's the way they are. They've been fucking trash. I've said it all fucking year long. I got myself another ceviche back. I have a bet with my old assistant manager where I used to work at Sherman-Williams, and we bet a ceviche every time. I've been up ever since last year, and the first game I ended up even, and now I'm back up a ceviche. So thanks to Cowboys Nation on that one. And but man, another shout out to the Jimmy Johnson, bro. I cried, bro. I've never seen that. I'm 30 years old. I turned 30 on Saturday, and I was crying, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That shit was beautiful, man. And hearing him fucking see, it was my bad. What was that?
No, it was, man. It was a special moment, and I was at obviously walk-ons for the Game Day Live, and you could just feel. I mean, obviously I wasn't in the stadium, but you could feel the energy from the people, and just when Jimmy was talking, how quiet it was, and how much it meant, and it was a pretty cool moment to be a part of.
Yeah, it was. All I ever wanted was to see him live saying how about them Cowboys, bro. And man, that got me, bro. I jumped up off my couch. Luckily, no one was home, and I was by myself watching the game. Oh man, it was beautiful, bro. It was beautiful. I just love Cowboys Nation. I love what we have. I love everything. I shout out to you, Botch, Mauricio, all of y'all, man. Because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be here, man. And man. I love the vibe and what it is, and I just wish to continue. And one day we'll see you up there, just how Aisha was on that video. You know, everybody's moving up, and I know you next.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the kind words, Splendor.
Hey, y'all have a great day, brother.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Later.
Lunar said that Jimmy made me cry. Yeah, a lot of people, it felt like, got emotional to that point. It didn't move me that way, but I'll tell you this. We go out there and get 6. Boy, man. It's a wrap for y'all. I'm going crazy. Banks, what's good, Banks?
Oh, that's quick. Guy, what's going on, man?
What's
Happy
up
New
with
Year's
you?
to you, man.
Happy New Year's, brother.
Not much. I'm kind of late to the party, so I don't know if this is there. Man, I'm kind of tired of these, man. We got these scared Cowboys fans, man. There's some other folks out here, man, lobbying for the fifth seed, man.
I was waiting for somebody. I knew this was coming sooner rather than later, but yeah.
Like, what's up with that, man? Like, we don't. The Rams, the matchup, the Bucks. Man, we get a chance to have. We go out there and take care of business next week. We got a chance to have possibly 2 home games because we got to take business in the wild card. Got to take care of business in the divisional round. And man, you never know the way things can shake out. We could have Another home game in the conference championship. If we get there, if the 49ers somehow just lose, things happen. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't you want home games? Why would you want your team going on the road just because you feel like the Bucs would be an easier matchup than the Rams or Green Bay or whoever get there down there, whoever the last seed is? I just don't understand it. It don't matter. At the end of the day, they still got to go out there and play ball to whoever they play, whoever it may be, man, and stop all this scared talk and all this stuff, man. I'm just kind of sick of seeing it, man. Because I'm quite sure nobody else is just looking at it like, oh, we want to get them. Maybe so, but man, it's 0-0. It's 0-0 now.
I think that, again, I say this like I said at the beginning of the show. The talk of wanting to play the NFC South team was with the understanding that the Cowboys would not be able to get the number 2 or number 1 seed, right? So it was like, hey, if Dallas isn't going to be 1 or 2, then we'd rather be 5 because you get the South. Because there was a thought that you would not be able to get 1 or 2. But the fact that you can get 2, that should be thrown completely out the window. For just so many obvious reasons why it should be thrown completely out the window. I don't give a damn if at the 5 seed you can go play the NFC South. Dude, this is the playoffs, number 1. Number 2, you want to tempt fate for the Cowboys to do something that they just haven't shown the ability to do throughout the season, and that's win 3 consecutive playoff games on the road. That just is not something that I don't give a damn how you want to fake the funk all you want. I don't care how much of a Cowboy fan you are. You can't tell me you got 100% confidence that the Cowboys are going to win 3 playoff games on the road, and and you're sitting here like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. I'm sorry, but if you say the Cowboys get the 2nd seed and they have 2 home playoff games, oh, my confidence is through the roof that they can win 2 playoff games at the crib. Through the roof. Because the one team that beat them in the playoffs, you won't see them until the very last moment, at least. You might not see him at all. So I don't know why this conversation I know why it got brought up, but I don't know how it gained steam. It really shouldn't.
Yeah. No doubt, man. That's all I got, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Banks.
All right.
This is the current standings right now. Dallas is at 2. The Packers are at 7. They have the best chance to clinch the 7th seed. They win, they'll have the 7th seed unless the Rams lose against the 49ers, who, and again, we could talk about this throughout the week. But San Fran plays the Rams. They will not be playing probably Christian McCaffrey. They'll likely be sitting other guys. They'll be putting themselves in a situation to lose the game. But if they were to win, like the Rams are in, it's just a matter of seeding. If they were to win, the Packers were to lose, the Rams would get the 7th seed. Whatever. Right? Like, all right, the Rams are playing better ball, although they didn't look that great against the Giants. But the Rams are playing better ball. There's no doubt about it. It's a good team. All these teams are going to be, quote unquote, good teams, but all of them are also going to have games, many on their resume, that they look way worse than your squad. So I don't give a damn if it's the Rams. I don't care if it's the Packers. New Orleans is still in this thing. I don't care who the Cowboys got to see in that first round. They at the crib. They at the crib. And if it's the Rams, you smack the Rams at their crib and yours. What are we talking about? If it's the Packers, oh, that would be, talk about poetic justice here. Talk about poetic justice. The last time the Cowboys played the Packers at home in the playoff game, McCarthy was on the other side of the field. And they sent you home. So, and it's the Packers. Like, respects to them for fighting and everything, but it's also the Packers. So, I don't know, man. I don't even know how this became a legitimate conversation. All right, let's get a couple more. OG B Bird in the house. What's up, B Bird?
Hey, what's happening, Scott? How you doing today, brother?
Fantastic. Good New Year. Good New Year's Eve with the Eagles losing. We, in position to get the number 2 seed. I just feeling good, man.
The curse has been lifted.
Hey.
But you hit it dead on the nose. All these good things started happening as soon as Jimmy got into the Ring of Honor, correct?
Just saying, man. I'm a little stitious.
Yeah.
Jimmy gets in the Ring of Honor. All of a sudden, the referee, he don't recognize voices, and then Kyler Murray goes in there, and I'm just saying.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, I got two things I want to just kind of piggyback off what you said. I can't believe that no one should be thinking I'd rather go on the road. Remember we talked about some of those stats I said last week about the Super Bowl teams out the dome?
Yeah.
No team has ever went on the road 2 times and got to the Super Bowl from the dome. So let's be it 3 times. That's just not going to happen. So we talked about the draw last week, and I think, man, if we get this win this week, the draw will fall just kind of pretty good for us, put it that way. Two home games and a possible road game against the 49ers, which, I feel pretty confident we'll go in and do our thing there. One thing I was going to counter you on, if you don't mind, and this is my last thing, is I think before you said we had one real road game left, I really think that this game here for the Cowboys, if we win, we can still gain some confidence from it. And I would give you an analogy. If you play basketball, if you have 3 or 4 bad shooting games, and then you play against a team in your district that's not too good, but you're 7 for 9 from the 3-point line, hitting all your free throws, you feel good no matter who it was against. You felt good that you broke the slump. You felt good that you broke it, and now you feel good about going forward, no matter who it's against, because it's mostly about yourself.
Sure.
So I think if we go in this game, man, and win, even though it's the Commanders, they always play us tough. They're going to fight, with whoever they got out there. But if we win, hey, that's still some confidence builders. Now, the outside might think, oh, that's just Washington. But as long as the Cowboys understand, if they feel good about it, it doesn't matter, right? And I think they can find some things from this game that they can feel good about on the road. So, hey, that's all I want to say, man. I'm going to let some other people get on, brother. And I'll listen to you offline, man.
I appreciate you, B-Bert. Yeah, 2 thoughts there. The thought of the Cowboys having one real road game was one real road game against a good team, because the Commanders are not a good team. That was the conversation 3 weeks ago prior to Buffalo, and then after Buffalo, Miami was, hey, the Cowboys have one more chance to prove themselves on the road against a good team. At the end of the day, you beat Washington on the road. It really doesn't do anything for your road confidence if you had to go 3 games in a row. Now, for your, like you said, to play well, I'm with you there, because after the Lions game, again, I hate to put a wet blanket on this whole thing. But after the Lions game, the way they played, I was like, hey, this Washington game is important for a different reason, and it's the reason you said. I think they have to play well so that they're going into the postseason with internal confidence, or getting rid of that stench of not playing so great consistently over the last 3 weeks of the season. Think about it. Buffalo didn't play well. Miami, you lost, right? You didn't play well, was up and down. The Detroit was up and down, didn't play well for the most part of that game, but you got it done. And then you don't want to go against Washington and not play well, because now you're going into the postseason not playing great. Not saying Washington, winning is going to change anything. You just kind of want a cleaner game. So I agree. I think you want to play cleaner. You want to play better. Would love to get at least 2.5 quarters. Get these guys, blow them out. That way you can rest your guys for a half or a quarter heading into the postseason, and feeling good about themselves, right? Feeling good about themselves. All right, let's keep it moving. 929, what it do?
What's going on, Sky? Happy New Year. I hope you and your family are blessed.
Happy New Year, sir.
I have one thing to say about the referee situation at the end, because I haven't seen nobody, maybe I missed it because I am at work, maybe you have said it, but prior to that 2-point conversion debacle, if they would have called the tripping on Hutchinson,
yep,
we wouldn't have even been in that situation.
Yeah.
Either way, we fast forward, it happened, whatever, and we know 70, 68, or whoever else was out there. Everyone heard that they called 70 being reported. No one tried to fix it. Dan didn't try to fix it and try to call timeout or whatever. But even if 68 would have called as eligible, they would have threw a flag anyways for the simple fact of if a lineman comes in and reports as eligible, he cannot be covered, meaning there can't be a receiver or another person beside him. Between him and the opposite receiver, there is no one else. There's just everybody in between. If you look at the play when he peels out to do the pass, there's a receiver on his left outside. That automatically, whether he called eligible or not, that automatically makes him ineligible. Am I right or wrong? I mean, I played football. We should all understand this rule. So how is it that these – that's why I listen to you guys, because these sports analysts, they tend to forget that specific rule. But you want to talk about, oh, well, he did report. Okay, even if he did report, he was covered. There was a receiver to his left. He can't go out for a pass. That receiver would have had to go out for a pass. That is the furthest, that is on the outside. Am I right or am I wrong on that one?
I don't know, bro, but
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
I don't care. You know why? Because the Cowboys get hosed all the time with penalties. The whole thing. I said my piece. You're right. You said, I don't know if you said this already. I said my piece at the beginning of this thing, bro. But if that's how you feel and that's the rules, bro. But I'm done breathing life into this thing. It should have never happened because, like you said, there was a tripping the series before, and that's ball game. So covered, not covered, eligible, not eligible. They played themselves trying to trick the Cowboys. They tricked the referees, and then they had two opportunities to tie the ball game. That's on them, man. So, hey, it is what it is.
And then I just wanted to clear that out for anybody who didn't probably understand. I don't give a damn either because Micah got held at every damn play. So miss me with the referee mess.
Facts.
Miss me. What are we at? 54 quarters now, so I don't care no more.
10 games.
We're 11-5.
10 games with Micah not getting the goddamn going. It is what it is, man.
So I don't care no more. Let's just try to beat these. Let's go ahead and handle business. Beat these Commanders, and then we got home field. That's all that matters. We got home field, and we'll see San Fran. I hope everybody has a blessed New Year.
Sir.
I hope everybody gets everything that they desire. Let's carpe omnia, Cowboys. One love.
My man, appreciate you. Yeah, I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I know for sure because I've seen conflicting things on the interwebs where apparently if he happened to be called eligible, it was fine. Some people are saying no, he was covered. Some people are saying no, the receiver was off. I am not going to sit here and act like I am a referee aficionado, the rules aficionado. I don't know, man. Some analysts say if it was called right, the play was fine. Some didn't even bring that up in general. I don't know, man. And honestly, I said my piece on it. If they're going to continue to talk about this, they're looking at the wrong damn thing. The tripping call was the most egregious one, in my opinion. You tried to trick the Cowboys and you tricked the refs. That's your fault. You set that up. They can go ahead. I don't want nothing to do with it no more. 850, what it is, what it do?
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are live.
How you doing, Skywalker?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, sir?
I'm blessed, brother. Happy New Year, my friend.
Oh, this is was a Cowboy fan 77 or something like that?
Dallas Sports 1977.
Dallas Sports 1977. Well, Happy New Year, sir. How are you?
All right. God bless you, brother. It's amazing how people take things the wrong way, but that caller was right. I was at a store other day at Walmart near my house, and I might have had my wife had bought me some new Dallas Cowboys stuff for Christmas, and I had on my shirt, and somebody walked by me and started talking to me just because I got on the Dallas Cowboys sweater, which my wife had just bought me some new Dallas Cowboys stuff. And they not knowing that I used to be a high school football official for 9 years. And the man was saying that the Dallas Cowboys and officials cheated Detroit. They did not. The caller was correct. I looked at the film. It showed clearly 6 to 8 was ineligible. And before that, the series before that, the Detroit Lions defensive player tripped our tight end and should have been called for a penalty. But otherwise, the referees called a penalty on our tight end, Hendershot, which makes no sense. And it would have been, and we almost had the first down when the running back ran the ball, and it was second down and about 3-4 to get a first down. So we ended up with a 1st and 25, and it ended up punting the ball back to them, and then they driving it into the field. Then our defensive coordinator, which I'm upset about, Dan Quinn, going to almost like a prevent defense, not having our defensive backs, jamming the receivers. We playing give up first. We giving up yardage, lining 10 and 12 yards off receivers, and Goff driving it into the field, score a touchdown, and then the deceiving thing about the whole situation, Campbell tried to deceive the Dallas Cowboys with this trickery play, saying that 7 was eligible when really he wanted to fool us. But it was 68 was ineligible, and it fooled the Dallas Cowboys and never fooling the officials. And now the officials won't be able to probably do no playoff game. But the whole moral of the story is, as a Dallas Cowboy fan and players, and you've been knowing this for a long time. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan since 1966 season, born in 1961. I can't count how many times Dallas Cowboys has been screwed so many times, like the dead no-catch game. So it's about time that the Dallas Cowboys get treated fairly. And I got to say this. I'm fixing to let you go. I think this is our best opportunity to get to a Super Bowl if we can beat our rivals on Sunday and have 2 playoff games, and then most likely we might end up going to, if the 49ers do what they have to do, because they're a powerful team.
Yeah.
We probably end up going there. But if somebody else knocked them off, that's a good thing. Yep. But the thing about this is, America's team will have 2 home games, and we had a great season at home. And that's all I got to say, other than I'm not happy with Mike McCarthy a clock minute. And I just want to hear what you got to say of what I talked about. That's all I got to say.
Appreciate you, 1977. Good stuff. Yeah, yep. You as well, sir. On the money there, in my opinion, when it comes to potentially having two home games and seeing San Fran, but San Fran could get tripped up. So you did mention something at the end there that we haven't gotten into. It's been kind of a, hey, having fun type show. But if you go and look at the post-game show, this wasn't the energy, at least for me, because it was initially the way it ended was, it wasn't great, right? And part of it not being great was the Mike McCarthy clock management, and just in general, the game plan in general just seemed to be strange to me. How many times did we talk about it in a week where we said, this team is really good against the run, really good. And for some odd reason, I mean, he just kept sticking with the run in the second half when he's random, important times, but just randomly running the rock and starting your team off in second and long. Now I know the last possession, TP had some good runs. Shouts out to him for sure. When I say last possession, I mean the go-ahead touchdown drive. Dak, TP, I think Lamb and Cooks were crucial on that drive. But after that, all right, coach, you got your little run off. We got the go ahead stuff. Now it's time to actually play clock game. Because all game I kept saying stop running the ball. Right? Like forget it. For some odd reason, he flips the script. I get it. The tripping, that was nasty. That was disgusting. But you got a nice first down pass, and on second down, I think McCarthy said there was a miscommunication or something. You shouldn't be having these miscommunications. This is where I wish Dak would have just said, Coach, no, we're not throwing the ball. What are we talking about? They got one timeout. I don't know that Dak is worried about timeouts. He's got to do what he's got to do on the field. That's where your head coach and your coaches say, understand the management of the game, and they say, they got one timeout. We run the ball here. That means they'll get the ball back with less than a minute. We're talking about roughly 40-something seconds on the clock with no timeouts, and they got to go to the length of the field. I don't know where the mishap came from, miscommunication, but on second down, not only do we throw it, comeback route by Cooks, deep shot by Dak, so there's a miscommunication there, and it just made no sense to me. So Yeah, I didn't like the way McCarthy called this game. Remember I used the term weird. It looked weird in that one. I'm hoping that next week it's not going to be pretty on the road in regards to the weather, right? You're on the road. Washington always makes things tough up there, but Cowboys get back home. I'm hoping we get back to being a lot more smoother in how he manages that game. So didn't like how it ended either. 1977. I thought that McCarthy flipped the script on us, which didn't make any sense. There was times in that second half we're running when we should have been throwing, and then the end of the game we're throwing when we should have been running. Just was weird. We got 850, 2 more, and then we're going to end it with VIP. What's good, 850?
Okay, this is me again.
I
just want to tell you.
Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to tell you, Law Nation and you, Skywalker, and all other great YouTubers like Mark Holmes and West Coast Cowboy and all y'all. I support all of y'all.
Thank you, sir.
I need y'all to, if y'all can sometimes, throw some food bones my way, because even though I just started out and everything and stuff, and I just retired, and
oh, you retired! Congratulations, man! Congratulations! Go check out what is it? Dallas Cowboy 1977.
It's Dallas Sports 1977.
Dallas Sports 1977. Make sure I go support him, man. Appreciate you.
It's two words, and the reason why it's 1977 because my opinion is the doomsday defense of with Rod Staubach and all of them, when we won the Super Bowl against Denver in New Orleans in the Superdome there. I think that's the best Dallas Cowboy team ever. They only lost 2 games that season, at Pittsburgh and St. Louis Cardinals.
All right, man. Appreciate it, big dog.
They won. God bless you, brother.
You as well, sir. Somebody, the Vecna clock. 818. What it is, what it do?
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are live.
What's going on, Sky?
All right. I'm good. How are you?
Happy New Year and everything, man. And always great content. A lot of good calls. I was listening in, and just a couple things. I know it's going to be, things that were already touched on. But as far as the tripping, the lady referee that threw that flag basically saw Pendershot trip up Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith was the one that, tripped over Pendershot's foot. And then immediately after that, Aiden Hutchinson sticks his foot out, which is a penalty. So she got confused as well. Not to mention, again, none of the debacle would have happened had they just called that correctly. The referee got confused, 3 people walking at him, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the referee's fault.
Yeah, I feel
like
I feel like somebody made a good point about this too, which is 2 things here. I think the Cowboys and the Lions had similar color. I think they both had white pants. And the refs looking down the line, I mean, this is terrible refereeing, if we're being honest. And she sees a foot go out and it's white pants, and maybe she's assuming it's Hendershot. And if you look at Hutchinson looks back because he knows, shit, I hope they didn't catch me on the tripping.
Absolutely.
But it might look like to her, I'm being tripped. And so here's the thing that makes no sense. Why would Hendershot try to trip his own player?
Right. It makes no sense at all. Makes no sense at all.
And there's no other player around Hendershot but Hutchinson. So, this lady just blew this one. And somebody said, well, they just happened to call on the wrong. No, you don't just happen to call it on the wrong team. How do you not come together and say, hey, y'all, let's think about this for a second. You're calling tripping. You're calling tripping like the literal trip, not the. I think there's another version of trip like the whole clipping or whatever, where somebody's holding them up and you take their legs out. It's not clipping. It's not blocking the back. You're saying Hendershot stuck his leg out. The next question would have been, okay, Miss Ma'am referee, who is Hendershot trying to trip? Yeah, who is he trying to trip? Well, you know what? What, Brad? That's a good question. Let me think about this. You know what, Brad?
Absolutely.
It was 97 who tripped. 15-yard penalty, overturn it. That's the conversation that should happen.
Yeah, because those type of calls right there, that's not like a mistake, like debatable. It's not debatable. The guy, he's the only one sticking, like you just said. Why would Pendershot want to trip his own running back. That's the dumbest thing ever. But back, like I said, back to the 2-point debacle. The guy got confused. That's just the bottom line. And he told the defense the wrong number. The number is reported over the PA. So Detroit felt like it was, the wrong number. They should have said something. So, it's a thing that just came back to bite Detroit. But as a Cowboy fan for over almost 50 years, I could care less about, what I'm saying? Like being, so sorry they lost. So what? I mean, there's plenty of times with Cowboys get hosed. I still, people talk about the Dez Bryant, and obviously that was a catch. But the play that I hate that was never called, and I know you probably know this, you guys break down film way better than all the networks, that's for sure. But do you remember when I call him Karen Rodgers, and y'all can take that if you want. Karen Rodgers threw that pass.
I know where you're going. David Irvin?
He threw that pass. He threw that last pass, Dak and Zeke's rookie year, that playoff game. He threw that last pass, but if you see the lineman coming up the middle of the field, he's being clotheslined in front of the referee, and there's no flag.
I think you're talking about David Irvin.
To me, I lost my what was the guy's name?
I think that was David Irving. I think he got some pressure on A-Rod, and you're right. It's pretty much
it was either him or it was the kid that went. Yeah, and it was like, to me, it's like, as a fan, we can never go, oh, man, we can't do nothing about it. It's over. You know what I'm saying? So when it's something like this was not a debatable call. Number one, they were lined up incorrectly anyway. The play should have never counted. This was on the referee relaying the wrong information. Because if you told them number 70, that's the reason why they were on number 70.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If
that's the other thing, that I didn't bring up, but it's been talked about, for the last couple of days. Well, no, the reason why 68 is open is because they are guarding number 70. And the hater on one of those networks is like, no, I'm not hearing that because, this play always works, blah, 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 blah. But if you really go back and watch that play, had they truly guarded 68, there's no way, bro. There's no way that he wasn't even really wide open. It was just, I'm not paying attention to him.
They almost caught up to him, actually.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So if it was like, let me pay attention to 68, Donovan Wilson or whoever the safety was behind him would have easily picked that ball off, man. Absolutely. I mean, what are we talking about here? Absolutely. So, they can keep crying.
And the crazy part, too, they got lucky again because Micah, pre-jump.
Offsides, yeah.
He threw an interception on that play. So, I mean,
and the thing that kills me
Detroit's
about that,
crying about nothing.
The thing that kills me about that is that it was the same type of offsides that Hutchinson did on Dak's interception that they didn't call on Hutchinson. But is what it is.
And I'm glad you pointed that. I saw that too live. I was like, man, that was offsides. And it's like, again, as fans, no, we can do. We just gotta suck it up. So Detroit, they might as well just suck it up, man, because at the end of the day, the play should have never counted anyway. That's just the bottom line. But again, we go all the way back to the tripping. We would have never even got to that debacle. But that is the referee's issue. The NFL throws the referee under the bus, which go figure. But at the end of the day, I'm not excusing no wins. A win is a win. It's tough to get wins in NFL. So when we go with this narrative of the networks, they go with the winning team and this and that. Listen, man, all of these guys get paid, both sides of the ball, all teams. And trying to get a win, look at Philly barely scraping by on wins early in the season. And they talk about, they make enough plays to get the win. Well, guess what? It's coming back to bite you right now. So at the end of the day, when you get a win, you get a win. We get in here and go to Washington, don't play around with them, beat them 56-7 in their spot, whatever. Yeah. Do whatever you got to do. Get those guys out of there by the third quarter.
Indeed, man.
And get ready for the 2 home games, because I really feel like this is a year that they can do it. But we say that every year, but this year right here, this could be a catapult. Even if we don't win the Super Bowl, I think we can at least get there. And if we do get there, I think we'll win it, actually. But this is a preface for next season, because at the end of the day, we got number 7 coming back next year, so the defense should be even better.
We hope, man. We appreciate the call, big dog.
No doubt.
Thanks, sir.
Happy New Year to you, man.
You as well, man.
Peace.
Let the Philly game be a lesson to the Cowboys. Kind of a bit of a double entendre when you really look at it. Bad team. You had a shot to win a division, or at least continue to play to win a division. One more win and they win it. They won in and lost to a bad team. Let that be a lesson to you. Also, in the same game, let that be a lesson to you, remembering, or should I say, let that be a reminder to you, week 3 against that same team Philly lost to, Arizona Cardinals. Dallas hasn't lost to the bad teams on the road. It has not been that, right? Except Arizona. That was the only one. And since then, they pretty much pummeled these bad teams on the road. So you can do two different things going into this last game if you are trying to motivate the Cowboys in that locker room or whatever, right? A, we lost to Arizona on the road, and this is why we're in this situation. Now, we beat them. I think the division will be locked up pretty much. Number one. Number two, look what happened to Philly. Okay? You cannot go into this game just assuming, just rolling your helmet out there and saying we're going to win. That's a bad team. There's a lot of fans that are going to want to beat this team. There's some players that I think feel like this is a rivalry, right? The Jonathan Allens, the Paynes of the world. I personally do believe that most of that roster could care less about this rivalry. They probably ready to pack it up and leave anyway. I think as fans, right? Somebody that called in, hey, they want to beat you, they want to do that. Some of those players might. Fans, we care more about that rivalry than probably 80-85% of that locker room, man. There's many of those dudes in that locker room ready to pull the plug, wrap this thing up, put the trash bag in my locker room. They're ready to go, right? But don't give the 15% that extra motivation by keeping them around, right? There's a guy, I don't know if it'll be Brissett, I don't know if it'll be Howe, but those two dudes, they don't give a damn about this rivalry. They're trying to go out and look good because of who they may be playing for the next year, whether it be in Washington or with the next team. But then there's a lot of those dudes just ready to go, ready to pack it up. So give them a reason to pack it up. Don't go out there and play with your food. Give them a reason. All right, two more. Let's make them quick, though. 804, what it do? Going once. Going twice. Sold to VIP. What's good, VIP? Happy New Year, man.
Sky is VIP. What up, baby? Happy New Year, Playboy.
What's good?
Look, man, there's a few things I took out of this game. Obviously, I don't even want to talk. We talk about the refs? Are we talking about the refs? All I'm going to say to that is we call that in the streets karma. Period. We didn't even talk because for the whole game, we could go back and forth on the refs. That tripping call amongst that other calls. Man, please, bro, we ain't even talking about the refs. They owe us. They only owe us, bro. That was a real call. So cut it out, man. They always want to move the narrative and whatever, man. All I got to say is we shouldn't have been putting our defense in that goddamn position. Big Mike, you got to clean the end of the games up, bro. This is like the fourth game I've seen you fumble over yourself when it comes to clock management and game management. Somebody got to tap in with him, Sky. Like, why are we going for the kill? Going for the kill shot is running the ball and running the clock out. That's going for the goddamn kill shot.
Yeah.
What are we doing, Sky? That bothers me, B.
Yeah, that ticked me off too. So I'm right there with you. It made no sense, and it reminded me of the Seattle game earlier this year and the Jaguars game last year, where almost probably similar down distance is like, what are you doing? You just gave them a free 45 seconds, and in the NFL, man, 45 seconds is a long. That's two completions. Now you in position for a Hail Mary. Or not even a Hail Mary, but a good shot. So I hated the call.
That in DQ with that goddamn prevent. Yo, I don't want to see that no goddamn more, bro. That prevent. Yo, bro, B, look. Why are we running? We had them on lock all game. Why are you changing up your strategy for the end of the game? Those are two things that I think we need to clean up, B, because those two things really irritate me. Because I don't even see, why are we playing 10 yards off That shit just, I don't understand that, Sky, man. What are we doing?
It almost ruined it, right? We almost back-to-back weeks where Dan Quinn's defense played some good ball for most of the day, good enough ball, right? Holding opponents to 20 points, good enough ball for most of the day, and give it away at the end. It really leaves a sour taste from a really good defensive performance. But to me, I'll say this about it. That was more prevent defense than the defense just not being good, right? So that goes on Dan Quinn. Yeah. Continue to do what you did all game. There was no need to go play so soft there and put them in position to score the touchdown. So I definitely put that square on Dan Quinn's shoulders.
Yeah, and that same thing popped off with Atlanta. That's why Atlanta blew that. Was it New England they was playing? Whoever. That's why they blew that lead, and that's why he ended up getting fired or whatever. So I want us, and it's something I press to my children. You doing the same thing repeatedly. That's the definition of insanity. So if you're doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. I just don't want us to go into playoffs playing insane ball, Sky. I'm going for the ship. I don't want to hear nobody. I just want to get in the playoffs to play good. Nah, bro.
No. We playing to get 6, man. Yeah, dude, we're not the Browns. We're you know what I'm saying? We're way past just making it to the postseason. We made it to the postseason now 3 consecutive times in a row. It's past that. Cowboys got to get to the big dance.
To the big dance. And for all the Slurpees out there, I want to go in the slot 5, and that's what. See what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. No Slurpees for 24. I don't want to hear none of that talk for 24, B. I'm on your heels. I don't want to see you in Sky's DMs. None of that. Sky, you have a blessed year. I see you at the bowl. I'm riding. Sky, you need that hitter. Just tap in, Playboy. I'm out here, B.
You're not a killer, but don't what?
I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
VIP, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta love the energy, man. Alpha Mason, you a plum fool. Alpha Mason said, he said, VIP, said, I swear VIP doing Harlem Shake. Why he on hold? I feel you. Hey, look, man, I'm not giving no energy to that 5th thing, but we're not serious about that, are we, man? We were just having fun on Twitter, right, Tuck? You wasn't serious about that, man. The Harlem Shake is crazy. Let me get to these super chats. Appreciate you, DB. Dwayne Brown just dropped one.
Super chat.
On the way out, he said, he just dropped 10, man. He said, great show. And Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year's to you as well, DB, and everybody out there. Hope y'all had a fun and safe one. Seriously. Glenn.
Super chat.
He dropped 2, and he said, what happened to our pitch zone runs to our running backs? We just an unserious run team. Very, very unserious. I mean, we've been saying this, though, for like, what, Glenn? 2.5 months, something like that. Unserious run team. We just need to run. Just be efficient. We don't really have a run scheme. They're not really trying to be serious about. I'm not saying they got to go out here and run the ball 40 times a game, even 30 times a game. I don't saying they need to do that. But it's so unimaginative, bro. Like, against that team, to run a goofy ass shotgun, it really wasn't much split zone, but a shotgun trap and gap scheme stuff. It was so frustrating, man. Those linebackers are ridiculous when it comes to getting downhill. Out of play action the whole entire game. Hey, but hey, Sky, you only ran the ball 6 times. And I play action 72 times. Those linebackers didn't care about anything behind them. Nothing. So that was annoying. It definitely was Mickey Mouse run plays. Me and Foots always joke about the Mickey Mouse offense in Philly. Boy, we got a Mickey Mouse run scheme. 100%. Foots said he jogs in Tim's. Hey, man, no Tim slander over here. No Timbs. I still haven't seen nobody. Well, I haven't been out as much, but I don't see many people wear them down here, man. I'm like the only one. I'm the last of the Mohegans in Texas. Still them boys.
Super chat.
Appreciate you, man. He dropped 5 and said, where was the outrage when they called Dez Bryant's catch incomplete in the playoffs? If my memory serves me right, people were laughing at us. I mean, there was outrage. But if you mean from the non-Cowboy fans, even though I've seen some people that were with us, yeah, they were laughing at us for sure. Because that's what they do. You know, they see the star, still them boys, and everything's a joke to them when the Cowboys lose. Hey, but that comes with the territory. But you're right. There wasn't the outrage of Dez caught it as much as outrage of this debacle for the 2-point conversion. Let it go. It's over. We don't want to play. That's the thing. Y'all don't want to play the referee game. See, the big networks, they don't have the time that we do to seriously look at the Micah Parsons non-call. I haven't even seen them mention this. I mean, maybe they have. I don't know. But I haven't seen the clips on Twitter. Have they even brought up that it's now 10 consecutive games that Micah Parsons has went without a hold? 10. Has that been brought up? It took the Cowboys' Twitter to bully national media into showing the tripping play. They wasn't trying to show that. They didn't even show it on the replay. They went straight to commercial. And then Shefty does it, and you see people, oh, thank you, Schefter, for no, thank Cowboys Nation. Thank them for showing the tripping penalty. And that still won't get as much national coverage because, again, they're not about really, not everybody, but most of them. They're not about pushing the truth per se. They're about pushing controversy and drama because that's what sells, that's what clicks, and it is what it is. That's what they do. That's why you need to come here. That's why you need to support us. Because not only will you have fun, but we're going to give you the full scope about your Dallas Cowboys. It's not happening anywhere else. So keep supporting. On your way out, please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Me and Vosh will be back later on. Now, shout out to Vosh. He did the S&P Lounge yesterday. If you missed that, go check it out. But trust and believe, we are not done making fun of Philly. We're going to have some fun later. We're going to talk about this game a little bit more. And it's once again a short week. So tomorrow, I'll probably pull up some plays. We haven't looked at the film in a while, all these losses and whatnot. So we'll pull up some plays, take a look at the film. Then probably Thursday, we'll get back to flipping the page, turning the page, whatever you want to call it, to Washington. Got to make sure we take a look at these boys, make sure we ain't overlooking them, see what's going on the last few weeks, get this dub, lock in this number 2 seed. And then it's on, man. Can y'all believe it? It's week 18. Shouts out to y'all. Rocking with me. The 3rd season doing this. We're almost done with our 3rd regular season. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. With that said, I got my Dak outfit on. Oh, I'm bringing this back later. Trust and believe me, I'm feeling good in this thing. We went out there and we slayed the lion. So I figured, you know what? Let me go ahead and take the line and wear them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All right. With that said, let me press this button.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
That ain't the button. That's the button. Hey, now. I'm not Mauricio. It's my guy. Might be a little guy, but I'm average, god dang it. But leave me alone, Toxic. It's tax season, Toxic. I might have to send you my W. All right, we out of here. Love y'all. Peace.